Hi traders, my name is Chris. This video is brought to you by Admiral Markets and will review how price moves and why by looking at the path of least resistance. First of all though, be aware of this disclaimer is valid for all the videos and webinars, and pause the video to read the entire disclaimer. Alright, analyzing the path of least resistance is, in my opinion, very important and very crucial in understanding market structure. Basically, it's similar to the flow of a water or a path, perhaps even like you see in this image, where water chooses the path of least resistance to flow down to the river or sea, following, depending on what it bumps into on the road, like rocks. The same holds true for the market. Price is going to bounce and break at certain spots depending on what's stronger, the momentum or the support and resistance. So there are a couple of things that are very important. First of all is the momentum and the trend that's going on in the market. If the momentum is strong, there's going to be a higher chance that price pushes through any of these rocks and boulders. But if the flow of price is not strong, is weak, then a boulder, support and resistance, could be a stopping spot for price, and price could then turn around. So just like in nature, the same kind of concepts can be used to identify and understand the market structure when looking at a price chart. So when price basically reaches such a level, it's actually what I call a decision spot. It's a bounce or break level, and one of the two is going to happen, and then it depends whether one or two is stronger, in fact, and which one will be the victor in that battle. So basically, momentum collides with support or resistance, and that's when we get that decision. Let's take a look at it on a live chart, so to show you in a live example here. And this is just, of course, one example here, but you can see the pound USD in a downtrend, right? Clearly lower highs, and I can mark that if you like here on the chart with those red circles. You can clearly see a trend here with lower highs, and also at occasion some lower lows, right, as well. All right, so clearly a downtrend with some good momentum to the downside right here. All right, and basically price making a triangle like this in this zone, indicating a kind of a sideways pattern, of course, where price is just consolidating, and then price breaks below that triangle to the downside. So a breakout like that can be considered a decision spot, right? When price breaks below this trend line here, for instance, that is a very important decision spot because that shows that price has a likelihood of continuing. Same holds true for a level like this. So basically, of course, there are a lot of ways to identify support and resistance, a lot of ways to identify momentum and trends, and that's something we can discuss in other webinars. Take a look at live webinars at Admiral Markets. Go to admiralmarkets.com and click on education. There's a ton of webinars you can find there about this. But what I want to show basically is that always a constant kind of fight between these two concepts, between the support and resistance and momentum and trend, and then one of those two is going to be the winner. And if you can recognize that, then you'll be better able to understand what is the path of least resistance when looking at a chart. All right, that wraps up this video. Once again, here you can find the webinars by going to education and clicking on webinars. All right, thank you so much for joining this video. Wish you all good trading. Cheers.